Hello, I am Mandy Palmer. I'm a holistic health and wellness coach, and this is my healthy story. My mission in this interview series is to get stories of healing out into the world with the intention that you too can feel better and improve your health. And we're all unique and we all have unique experiences. And these interviews are to showcase an inspiring healthy story. And today's guest, I'm so excited to be here with her today. She's very special. Her name is Joy Resor, and she's going to share with us today her healthy story. Joy is a published author who inspires joy through her presence and her offerings, and she is the embodiment of her name. So Joy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mandy. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. And I'm just excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you. I was given the birth name Joy. And when I was very young, my joy was totally squashed. Had an older sister who sassed this litany at me. Mom and Dad put you back in the hospital because you cried too much. Then they got the wrong baby back. You really don't belong in our family. This gave me such a core wound of not belonging. I don't belong in this family. I don't belong anywhere. But having that name Joy, it was like maybe, a goal. It was a call inside me. Can I become this name? And there was a time in my 20s, this man I was connected with working and said, you have a bag of stuff on your back, girl. You've got to put it down. And words can sound really great to us, but the how would I ever remove that bag from my back? And it has been a journey to become who I am. In my 30s, I wrote in my journal every day, create in me the joy I am created to be. And I can look back now and see really the hand of divinity leading me, synchronicity after synchronicity, to healers, to who I needed, to beautiful people who would just make a comment and I would hear it in a way I'd never heard it. And it would lead me to another practitioner that I needed. Do you want me to say like what I suffered from?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Give us your top three health challenges.
Top three would have been decades of constipation, dehydration. I didn't get that connection between needing water and our bodies. And that all came with that package of not knowing what to eat and having trouble and stomach aches and different things. Then when my car was rear-ended and totaled, that gave me neck and back chronic pain for years until I could get myself, till I went to chiropractic and massage. My dad was a physician and chiropractic was, it was nowhere in me to ever even think that I needed chiropractic. And top three, then I would say there were four. Then there was my divorce that I needed to get through and over and around, forgiveness of him and of myself. But then I had this, I call it like a bag of emotional stuff. So the perfectionism, the judgment I held against myself and other people. What else was this tightness? There was a time I got into fear and I just was contracted in my whole system. So this healing has been a journey of a lot of releasing and letting go, letting go, letting go. Living into more allowing life, not trying to control it. Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being totally healthy and 10 being, I guess, the worst and most devastating, how would you rate each of those 4? Or how would you have rated them then?
Yeah, then those years of really suffering with constipation, and I had rectal surgery after my first son was born. That was definitely a 10. That was a horrible thing to have going on inside myself. And the car accident was a 10. That was real shock to my system. And part of that package of not being, when I said that emotional perfectionism and judgment, there was also that part I wasn't grounded inside my body. And so when we live ahead, that when we are not connected, all sorts of things can happen. And for me, that led to my car accident, Mandy. Because I was getting onto the highway, I heard a voice that said, don't go. But because I wasn't trusting, like I trust now, any voice I hear, I know it's a positive voice giving me really good information. And then I chalked it up to fear inside my mind that I was afraid to drive where I hadn't driven. So I asked for protection, I said a prayer of protection, and off I went. I was perfectionistic. I was on deadline. Joy was going to interview a woman named Faith for the church newsletter, and nothing was going to stop me. I was that driving, kind of pushing in life person. So yeah, it turns out that is when my car was slammed into by a guy who had a seizure in his van when I was 2 blocks from getting to the church. And he pushed me through this green light, thank you, divinity, a green light, and I was the lead car. So I just ended up, my seat broke, my foot came off the gas, and I couldn't reach the brake, but my car eventually stopped. And people ran over. It was a busy time, 11:30 in Cleveland, Ohio. And thank you that I was saved so I can inspire joy.
So 10 for both of those, and that emotional stuff, can you rate that? Or is that a little more difficult?
No, I think it was also a 10. When layers of perfection started falling away from me, I felt like I had that get out of jail free card from Monopoly, because I felt like living in perfectionism for me was like keeping myself in jail. That things had to be a certain way all the time, and yeah,
I can understand that. And so you had this car accident, and that led to, because you attracted that because of your emotional body, your energy, where you were at, and so how did all of these things impact your life? Was anything different because of what you were going through?
Oh, definitely. I think they all impacted my life. I think that the car accident, I had chronic neck and back injury, pain for a number of years. So I wouldn't go to things. They probably, all of them, they just made me more inward and solitary. Retreating into myself, there was a time in my life I really was hiding. I didn't think anyone would understand my bag of stuff. And I didn't want to put my bag of stuff on anybody. So I valued invisibility back then. I wasn't engaged in life then. I was observing a lot of life. Like, I just recently returned from Kauai, where I answered a call from a woman I knew who was inviting single women who weren't busy between Christmas and New Year's. And I answered that call, and I had the most fun, adventuresome time, deepening, healing, other healing within me that I didn't know I needed, and adventure. As I was in the back of her car to go snorkeling for my first time ever at age 60, I had this moment when I thought, wow, I used to be the person sitting on the beach watching the other people snorkeling. I wouldn't have been the one doing it. But that day I realized, I'm going to do this. And the thing is, I was so supported that day. I was with two women, and at the first woman really walked me through how to enter the water slowly and backwards with these fins on me that didn't fit me. They were too large. And then the other one came along just at the right time when I was ready to abort and go get out of the cold water. And she's like, Joy, you're doing so great, and you are 2/3 of the way. And it really, I got a new understanding of support, I think, in the way I support clients as a spiritual director, the way my books that have written themselves through me support readers and inspire readers to deeper joy. The way you, Mandy, support people with health challenge to become healthier. That support is, we're not meant to be alone. We are not alone anyway. And if we could see, I believe, every ancestor, angel, ascended master, the people, the entities that we don't, maybe can't see with our physical eyes, but I feel now unbelievably supported in life in so many ways. So I know I took this a little.
No, that's fine. Take it wherever you want to. The questions are suggestions.
Yeah, right. But everything really affected my life a lot. And when you hold judgment towards yourself and other people, you are in the world rather alone. I felt this unbelongingness, that wherever I went, I wasn't dressed right. I didn't fit in. And the fact that I am now grounded and I'm in my body, I have such peace and joy and love to share. But I also have this clarity. Like, decisions come so easily to me now. If you say, do you want to do this or this? Do you want to eat this or this? I understand what I need, what I want. So I really recommend healing. I know that I am so different than I used to be. And I recommend it. And even if you don't become, we're all not going to become such expansive, shiny people. But any healing that we can take is really it's good for us, and it's good for the people we're with. So I recommend baby steps in healing, like take steps.
What were some of the first baby steps that you took years ago? Because you described the healing in Kauai that was recent, but you had also done a lot of healing throughout your life. So what else can you attribute that healing to?
Yeah, thank you, Mandy. It's been a journey. It's been a journey of saying yes. Like, for example, what just came to mind was when I was led to a creative wellness coach. And I met with her for a free session, and she offered me a beautiful package. And then when she called to see if I was taking it, I started crying. She's like, what? I said, I don't know. I'm just so tired of being on a healing journey. That was a moment when I'd already been journaling for years and gone to poetry therapy workshops and gone to a chiropractor for session after session, gone for massage for session after session, gone to Rolfing, started opening my body, going to Pilates, and gone to business classes, and releasing layers of that controlling perfectionism, of just bit by bit of that. Yeah, I think that we can be so influenced by how we grew up. And my dad was a rageaholic, door slamming person. You know, it just makes me, it made me go like this. Yeah. And Mom, it was always a shock. Is he coming home? I've heard him called like a dry drunk. So, and Mom was perfectionistic. So I could look so good, but there'd be a scuff on my shoe, and she would point out the scuff, not the looking good. And what I love is, I said yes to that creative wellness coach. She actually gave me a key to a whole lot of peace inside me, because through her work with Jessica, I was able to heal my inner critics. So I'd had that voice, many of us have a voice or voices inside telling us we should do this, we shouldn't do this, we need to do this. How could we do that? But I don't have them anymore, because I have a truce with my inner critics, a truce with my inner perfectionist and my inner sloth and my inner banker. And you know, my inner perfectionist, who is so integrated with me now, I love color. I love color matching. The people that did my books, they get me color. It's all about it. Color. So I can look really good when I go out, but I'm not trying to be some standard of perfection, or I love to play with color, and you know. So I think, what other steps did I take early on?
Well, it sounds like that you tried some physical things. You tried chiropractic, massage, rolfing, and Pilates, and it wasn't. Those didn't really do it alone. It wasn't until you went after those emotional wounds and got grounded in your body that the real healing took place. Is that right?
I think so. I think that that groundedness, in that groundedness, and after some of the body work, everyone calls God, different words. And I received a visitation, and God introduced himself as the All. And the All gave me this beautiful, we were talking without talking, just communicating, of that separation is an illusion. Oneness is the only thing that exists. And I think that goes also to your question. My answer is that my Pilates instructor says to me all the time, like, I just make her giggle, because she doesn't have any other clients like me. She said, Joy, you're always healing. You've healed every layer. You've healed your mindset, your emotions, your the groundedness that you are, your physical, you've let go of so much. And I just feel that that was really intuitive, that I understood that healing is a complex, wonderful, ever available on any layer or any level. We can always be healing. Like, what if we decided to go to bed, like turn off our computer an hour and a half before we went to go to sleep, and we ended up sleeping better? That is a layer of healing. What if we didn't have television? I mean, I have not had a television for 10 years.
Wow.
And that has made me, I know that's been healing, because I didn't have to combat negative energies. I can be a happier individual when I don't hear ad nauseum about every bad thing that happens, because bad stuff happens. But we can focus on the beauty in the world. We can sit in nature. Nature is so healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We get so much of that here in Asheville, in Western North Carolina. The mountains, all the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I am very different just for sitting on Mama Kauai. I did a lot of sitting in Qigong. My retreat leader led us in Qigong, and I just am, yeah.
Oh, amazing. So how would you rate those health challenges that you described? How would you rate those today?
Woo!
If you could rate them.
Like what challenges?
What challenges?
Yeah, they're off my radar.
0.
Like, I hardly ever think of my car accident anymore. Although I'm still, my back likes to crack every now and then.
I do that too.
My neck, I noticed when I looked right to drive here, I'm thinking there's still something here that my massage person didn't get last week. But no, I don't think of my car accident very often. I'm very healed from it. And the constipation, I am a hydrated individual. I believe in hydration. Yeah, and I do take support, that word support that I used earlier, that I take what's the word, herbal support if I'm feeling like I need a little support for that.
Well, I know you have done some medical medium stuff in the past, or whatever, however you've integrated into your life. So share a little bit about that, what you learned and what you started to integrate into your life.
Okay, sure. I had been offered a free book, Medical Medium, by Anthony William, when I was at a networking meeting about 8 months ago.
What's this one?
That's that book. But I was in a real release phase. I was about to move from living with a man who had been earlier my partner. Then we lived 3 years, not as partners, just co-housing. And he was ready for me to move along. So I've been releasing so many books and so many things that when that book was offered to me free and the person said, it's so great, I just didn't want a book, another book in my life at that point. Then a few months later, a woman in my life said, I'm going to start a medical medium book group. So I bought the book and started reading it, and I was blown away by this man's story, by his understandings of healing. And I trust him and his belief that he has information from he calls it Spirit of the Most High.
Spirit of the Most High and Spirit of Compassion.
Who is the Spirit of Compassion. And his books are so compassionately written. I then bought book 2, book 3. But book 2 gave me this unbelievable appreciation for fruits and vegetables. And I'd always leaned towards eating more fruits and veggies than other foods, but now I am so happy. I'm thriving on eating more vegetables, more fruit, and hardly no dairy, no meat. About 5 days ago, I felt like some salmon. I made some salmon, and I'll eat some rice. But yeah, I don't know if I would say how it's helped me, because a lot of people that go on his protocols, they really are suffering from different issues in their body, and I wasn't suffering at all. I feel so good, but I feel like I'm on another level of feeling better. I think that my energy is better eating this way. I'm sleeping better. Yeah.
Another layer of healing, like you said.
Yeah, I just feel lighter and brighter, and I have lost some weight, which my clothes are fitting better. So, yeah, I really believe in the medical medium. His work in the world.
It is amazing, and I know a lot of people can be turned off by it because of where he gets his information from, and some people are turned off by that sort of thing. But I agree with you. When I was reading his story about how it came to him the first time, and just how the Spirit described himself. I mean, I was, like you said, blown away. I mean, it just touched me so deeply. The Spirit says, "I'm the Spirit of compassion, and I'm the closest thing to God, and God is love." And I just thought that was the most beautiful thing. I mean, so I was wrapped in right then and there. So yeah, I mean, his stuff has helped me too. I have my story on my website. So what would be, if you had to give just the best advice for people going through some similar things that you went through, or just healing in general? What would be some advice that you want to give?
Thank you.
You can think about it if you need to.
I can respond, Mandy. I would say, whatever you are going through, I would say, love yourself. Honor yourself as much as possible. And a word that my Pilates instructor used with me, she said, "Joy, you have persevered." You know, I've been going to Pilates once a week for 10 years with this same instructor. So she saw me so wounded after my marriage broke up. Well, she saw me tight before my marriage broke up, and then tight and wounded when my marriage broke up. And she's just, every week she'll say, "Look what you're doing," because I have so much range of motion now, and that I didn't have. But so I wish for you healing steps that you give that it's a gift to you and to everyone around you, that you seek some healing steps and healing tools for yourself, and I wish for you to hang in there if you desire to be a better version of who you are. I see it, Mandy, as we are like an acorn, and an acorn can be this magnificent oak tree. So within us is this potential, and it's like a divine spark in us. There's potential to be a magnificent, light-filled, joyful, loving, peaceful, beautiful, beautiful soul. Or we can get crippled at some point if we stop healing. I could have stopped. I could have been I don't know. Like, I don't know. Hunched over. I see people walking, looking at the ground, and their body just will not, because for so long they have done this. And I just know my mother had they called it a dowager's hump. My grandmother had a dowager's hump, and I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have a double chin instead.
I'm gonna be, just walk erect if possible.
It's protecting the heart space too. It's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wanting to stay closed up, and it takes energy. It takes bravery to walk around confidently with your heart open.
Yeah, you named it, and you just gave me the memory of part of my healing was experimentation. I really believe in that too. And I felt the call to try Bikram yoga. It's hot yoga. Well, I've been identified as a highly sensitive person. We know ourselves as HSPs.
Yeah.
The lights, the temperature, the sound.
Yeah.
But honestly, that was so good for me. Doing a few months of Bikram yoga helped open my heart, open me this way, because you're doing different things. But also the ability to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's been a real gift to me and for the people around me. So, because I'm just not I'm not picky anymore. I'm really easy to be with.
Yeah, you are. I'm very comfortable around you.
So yeah, I think that when we become more comfortable in our own skin, that is a gift to the world. And the fact that I am being comfortable, being visible, and I've been on this opportunity with you, Mandy, and other opportunities I have to be telling some story of my life and telling some how I've evolved from hiding and scared and fearful to being open and loving and happy. I know it's possible.
It is.
Because if I could do it and I was so wounded, I know anybody. We are miracles, and life is a miracle, especially when we're centered in our body and looking around and being with everything that we can be with. And yeah, I'm great. Oh, gratitude.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Gratitude.
And really feeling it. You know, it's one thing to just say, I'm grateful for being here with Joy today, but I'm grateful for being here with Joy today. You know, feeling it really makes a difference. And so basically, did I say I was excited about her? I knew you had some wonderful things to share with me and the world. And so become the oak tree that you were meant to be. And you've said this to me before, expand as the oak tree, right? So I thought that was very beautiful. So she's amazing. She shared some wonderful things. Her healthy story was inspiring to me, and I hope it was inspiring to you as well. And give us the titles of your books. Share with us that a little bit.
Thank you, Mandy. Books now, because I think that when we are dedicated to our healing, we could make everything we don't see just jump up and down. And now a memory just came in, because when I birthed this idea years ago of stoles, you can visit my website, joyonyourshoulders.com, and see what I'm talking about. But they're beautiful material. There's beautiful material with words, positive words. But after I birthed it, I actually put my picture into a picture frame that I'd had for 15 years. I was born on a Thursday, and there's that poem about Monday's Child, Tuesday's Child. I don't know if you know this poem. It's probably from the 40s or the 50s. But Thursday's Child will go far, is what the day I was born on a Thursday. And when I put my picture in that frame, I heard cheering. And it was like everything we don't see said to me, we are so happy another human being believes in herself enough to put her picture in this picture frame. Like it was the most one of the more touching moments in my life that I forgot about until this moment. But now, I told you about the all visiting me. The all also said, Joy, you just don't get it. With you in matter and me with the power of the universe, what we can accomplish. So this isn't just me. Mm-hmm. This means with every human who heals, well, even, I don't know, maybe you don't have to be so healed and you can be used by divinity. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I know for me that my healing had to get to a certain place before, and my availability and my openness to being used. But now books write themselves through me, and I'm so grateful and happy to let them come. So the first that came was this divine assignment, Go Enjoy an Alphabetical Adventure. And the assignment was to use the lessons of my life to inspire other readers. Mm-hmm. And that's poetry, essays, and questions. Then came Go Enjoy, Venture to Your Center, journaling prompts to enliven your joy. And next coming in a couple months is Designed to Shine, read aloud rhymes for any size heart. This wise and fun children's book that wrote itself through me in rhyme that I believe is going to really, really bless the world. I'm sure it will. With God's power, because I am paying attention.
Yes, that's amazing. And like you said, you're grounded, and the more grounded you became in your life, the more that you heard spiritually around you. I think that's wonderful. That's amazing. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So, Joy, thank you. And we will put in the blog post, there will be links that you can access her books to, her website, and anything else she wants to share. So this has been truly amazing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, sharing your wisdom. So much wisdom and so much love and heart came through you, and it always does. That's like I said, she says she's the embodiment of her name. So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.